it just gets bigger and better every year.
Yeah, and the pressure's on. I feel it for sure. We're trying some new things this year. One of the things that I'm adding is something called open space, which is it's really meant as an alternative to people sitting and listening to subject matter experts. It's organized very generally by large topics like technology, marketing, or affordable housing. And it's a chance for people to like bring questions to a group of experts and have small, intimate conversations. The group sizes are no more than 6 people.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, we're planning on rolling.
Wow.
We recognize that people have a lot of different learning styles, and this helps expand our ways to reach our attendees. Once again, I'm going to direct back to what's going on this afternoon. We're all gathered together this afternoon for our sneak peek webinar, Maintenance Staffing Strategies to Resolve Our Industry's Pain Point. This webinar will be recorded and it will be posted to our website, and everybody who has registered for the webinar will receive a follow-up email that will connect you to that. So you don't have to take notes this afternoon. You can just sit and listen and let the information wash over you. Recording? Okay, terrific. All right, Apartmentalize will be held in San Diego, June 13th through 16th. We're certain that Southern California's unique energy and charm will infuse every aspect of the event, spurring networking and learning opportunities and making our gathering more worthwhile than ever before. Megan would like to say a couple of things that relate to maintenance at our event and in our industry at large. Hi, Megan.
Hi everybody. Hope you're having a great afternoon. So the NA Excellence Awards, or Excels, recognize leadership in the rental housing industry. Oh, we're coming closer. These national awards celebrate builders, industry professionals, and affiliated apartment associations that make unique contributions to our industry. And we have different categories focusing on apartment careers, individuals, communities, affiliates, and return on energy. So award entries are filled out through a very easy online process. The deadline was initially supposed to be for tomorrow, but it has been extended to next Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. on March 27th. So make sure you submit those. And the winners are recognized at Apartmentalize in June on Saturday during our awards breakfast, and you'll also be featured in Units Magazine. So get those entries in. You can go to the website at the link listed on the page. We also have Maintenance Mania. If you haven't heard about this, you are missing out. It is one of the most exciting parts of the conference. It happens on Friday, June 15th at 11 in our exposition hall, and it is where 20 maintenance technicians who have competed year-round and become finalists at the local level then compete at our national championships at Apartmentalize. And they compete in 8 different events. It is a lot of fun. There's a ton of cheering. You need to bring earplugs potentially, but also be prepared to lose your voice because you'll find yourself getting just as excited in it. And again, it's on Friday, June 15th.
It's like the Super Bowl of maintenance.
It is. It's like the Super Bowl of maintenance. And finally, we also have a CAMT certification we want you guys to know about if you don't already. It's offered by our Education Institute, and it gives you valuable insight and real-world skills you can use on your job. Credentials also validate your knowledge and skills, enhance your capability, and boost your confidence and earn respect among your clients and peers. And obviously our CAMT, which is our certificate for work and maintenance in the industry. So if you're interested, you can go to the website, www.nhq.org/credentials. And if I may add, for Apartmentalize, our next registration deadline is April 13th, which is right around the corner. So you want to register now before the rates go up if you haven't already.
Fantastic.
And that's my final plug this afternoon.
Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
I struggled here with my amazing camera work. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed industry experts for our webinar today. Kimberly Hurd, CAPS, is the Senior Vice President of Operations for Sundance Property Management. Kim's responsible for the company's operational success, strategic planning, and management and oversight of all multifamily and single-family rental properties throughout Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, and South Carolina. As President of Training and Development, Patty Woods is responsible for designing, implementing, and monitoring training programs for all site-level associates. She oversees Fogelman's mentor programs, the Online Learning Center, and property transitions. And last but not least is Mary Gwynn, CPM. She consults and trains all over the country, a skilled in-person and web presenter. Her training is based on proven solutions, all tested first in her own management company. Mary specializes in management, marketing, and maintenance operations. She successfully teaches clients to increase revenue with techniques designed to leave nothing on the table. And additionally, unable to join today, but definitely on the team for June, will be David Creek, CAPS, CAMT. He's the Director of Maintenance for Hayes Gibbons Property Services. David has more than 30 years of experience in apartment maintenance and has held multiple maintenance positions in his career. His experience includes conventional, tax credit, HUD, and commercial communities. He manages capital expenditure projects, due diligence inspections, REAC inspection and preparedness, and is a proctor in EPA certifications. And now we'll turn over all of the controls to Mary Gwynn, who's going to act as moderator both today at the webinar, but also when we convene again in June in San Diego. Take it away, Mary.
Thank you, Clark. We're so excited to be here, and we hope that you appreciate the fact that we have heard all over the country that maintenance staffing is the industry's pain point. And so we are excited to get together with you and give you solutions that we've gathered from literally from experts all over the country. And to start us off, Kim, will you please introduce our topic?
Hold on 1 second. We gotta unmute her. Mary, I'm gonna take back the control really quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, technical challenge.
No, user issue.
There you go.
Happens.
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 Yeah, just
So, thanks, Clark.
oh, you're welcome, Kim.
So, topic of maintenance staffing is definitely a pain point for us. We all know how valuable our service team members are to our communities. And when we have an open position, man, is it a pain point. So today we're going to tease you with strategies to ease this pain. But remember, this is just a snippet, a teaser of what we will actually bring to you in June. So Mary's going to lead us off with creative recruiting ideas. Patty's going to talk about onboarding of maintenance with a focus on retention. And then I'll wrap us up with promoting from within as well as advancement. There we go.
Oops.
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
Nope.
Whoops.
We're going through this really fast.
Oh, I apologize. Okay, I need to pause. Guys, the out of control is definitely me. And so if you'll bear with us, we're going to try to get back to, there we go. Sorry for the technical difficulty, everyone.
Okay.
That was a super sneak peek because you just got to see half of the presentation.
Good recovery, Mary.
So it's no surprise. I mean, we all know that our industry is experiencing a shortage of qualified employees. And frankly, it's not looking really optimistic in the future. So you can see on the screen from a recent survey by Rigid, only 6% of students consider a career in the trades. And our industry has heard this loud and clear, and it's reflected in NAA's choice for the Thursday general speaker at Apartmentalize. It's Mike Rowe. You may know him as the executive producer and show host, best known for his hit TV series, Dirty Jobs.
Try not to go too fast this time, Kim.
Thank you. So let's talk about the current state of maintenance. So where are we at? According to NAA research, In February of 2018, there were a total of 4,653 jobs. That's in a month. 4,653 jobs posted in the rental housing industry. And that's up 18% from the previous month. 581 of those jobs were for a maintenance technician alone, and 157 were for a maintenance supervisor position. And according to a survey that we did, and Mary will talk a little bit more about it later, but the average maintenance position stays open for 102 days. That's unbelievable. So how does that affect us? This shortage, this pain point, we like to call it, impacts us in all aspects of what we do. It impacts our customer satisfaction, our renewal and our retention rates, our overall property performance, and let's be honest, it puts stress on the entire team. The impact on our industry is painful. So let's look at easing this pain. Mary?
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
Do you hear the heavy, heavy breathing like you hear on Star Wars? Don't you just feel like that sometimes on this whole maintenance, recruiting, and hiring process? The stats don't lie. Our study brought back that the time to hire is taking, on average, over 102 days. That's just incredible. And when you think about the impact on our operations, it impacts how quickly we provide service to our residents on the area that they most rate us on the rating site, that maintenance accomplishment. So that means potential higher costs as we have to sub things out. It means higher cost of operations. It means wear and tear on the rest of the team when we're short-staffed like that. So it is definitely an industry pain point, and we need to come up with creative ways to resolve it. So we thought, start them young. Well, maybe not this young, but start them younger in the industry. And we heard that in our survey. I can't wait for NAA in June, where we are going to give you more results from the survey that we did with professionals like you all over the country. And we got great ideas for really creative ideas for improving the hiring and recruiting and even the retaining process. But one of the things people said was, get people when they are at the technical and vocational schools. Get them and offer to help pay for their training, maybe even give them part-time jobs on our site, pay for designations. It's incredible the impact that that has on the potential for them being loyal to you long-term. Our company, for example, has 6 apartment communities in one submarket. So we've decided to do our first apprenticeship. And what that would entail is hiring somebody, putting them in those vocational schools and helping them learn the trades, get their CAMP designation while being paid, work with each of our 6 different maintenance supervisors who all bring a different skill set themselves and can all impact. And we feel pretty certain that that'll help to solidify their loyalty. And I patterned some of our thoughts on the Association of Metro Denver's program, where they have a maintenance apprenticeship program. I got the benefit of spending a little time with Lisa Godby here, who's their education director. And she and her association, this is their 3rd year graduating class. Woohoo! I mean, that is incredible. And she has developed a lot of best practices, which she shares with associations all over the country, and which she shared some with me. I can't wait to tell you more about them at Apartmentalize. In the meantime, I want you to have some takeaways today, some creative ideas that you can use immediately at your apartments. Like, for example, I have an asset in Charleston, South Carolina, where the maintenance market, it is so tight. And a really great industry leader named Kathy Hunt said, you are going to have trouble hiring a maintenance supervisor here who's skilled. She made a suggestion that I thought was very creative of rather than advertising in Charleston, advertising Columbia, South Carolina, a nearby metro area. But let's face it, Charleston, Columbia. Columbia's great, but Charleston, Columbia. Well, so her idea was advertise for that position in Columbia and be willing to relocate someone. What a great idea. It produced lots of candidates. Another thing that we got from feedback from our survey was take business cards everywhere you go, especially if you're recruiting for a particular maintenance position. But take these business cards and on the flip side have, hey, you served us awesome, or you're great, or thank you for great service, and have, we're hiring, what the position is, and the website for the company so that you can be recruiting all the time. There are other creative ideas that we plan to share with you at Apartmentalize. There's so much more than we can share with you here today. And so I hope you'll join us then. I want to leave you with a couple of thoughts. I tell my team members when they're recruiting for maintenance that a good maintenance resume has a shelf life of about 15 minutes. So don't recruit till you're really ready to contact those people and actually hire. Because if you call too late, the expiration date is past. Be ready to rock and roll. Be ready to call them. Be ready to set up interviews. Be ready to hire. I want to leave you with one more thing. You know, the ABCs of recruiting maintenance people, it's really ABH. It's always be hiring. Network in your markets all the time. Network with people. Get your own team to be looking for other candidates for your team. Thank you for this moment. And I want to turn it over to Patty Woods, who's going to share with us about maintenance team retention once you got them.
Okay,
Take it away,
Mary.
Patty.
Thanks, Mary. I'd like for everybody to stop just for a second and think back about your very first day on your job. It might have been years ago, or for some, it might have been just last week. But what kind of things were going through your head as you walked in the door that first day? Were you confused, nervous, a little bit overwhelmed, maybe really excited? And was the team that you walked into welcoming? Or were they just in a rush because, as Mary said, sometimes we wait so long to hire someone that all they want to do is put the keys in your hand and go have lunch because they haven't done that in 3 months. So we've got to remember that even if that new hire has been in the business for years in that same position, when anybody starts a new job, they find that every company does things just a little bit differently, right? All of a sudden, they're just struck stupid. They don't know where the shop is. They don't know where the apartments are. So it's going to be our job, our number one job, to make sure we're being there to support and train them from the very first day on the job. How about this? When you walked in on that first day, did you just jump right in and everybody expected you to know your job? Or did somebody truly take the time to map out a good plan to train you in that new position? Now ask yourself this question. What was it like for the last person that you hired on their first day? Hopefully, we're doing a great job onboarding. And they don't have the same anxiety that some of us had. A friend of mine shared something with me, and I just loved it. And I've used it since. She said, you know, sometimes it's 2 weeks to even 30 days before between the interview and before somebody starts to work. And so during the interview, a lot of questions are asked, but a lot of times they go home and they've got even more questions. And so what she does is she makes a personal phone call and just talks to them for a few minutes about what they can expect on their first day and their first week at work. And they may need to know, where do I park? What do I wear? Can I bring my lunch? Is there a place to put it? What tools do I bring? So during this phone call to the new associate, it answers those questions before they walk in the door. And it truly does give them the sense that somebody really cares about the fact that they're starting to work with them. So let them know what they can expect the first day, the first week. Put them at ease, make it fun. And you know, just like our residents decide if they're going to like their apartment within the first 30 days, well, guess what? So do the people that we hire. We need to make sure that they know that they've made a good decision to join our company. If all you remember about your first day on the job was all the new hire paperwork you had to do, then somebody missed the boat. Next. So the first day can be such a blur of information that we pile on them. I mean, all the paperwork, sure, and hopefully we're making that process a little more streamlined. But how much can they really retain on the first day? So we need to make sure that this time we're spending with them is valuable to them. So guess what? We have got to slow it down. Sure, we're in a hurry for them to get on the job because we've been without. But it's like that age-old question, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. This is how our orientation process needs to work. Let's think about all the different things that you have to train your associates on in the first day or the first week. Is it meaningful? Is it, can they retain it? So do you have a mentor program, some type of an onboarding resource guide for them that they can take back with them? Do you ask them to shadow someone in the same position before they really start working? So it's time to bring them into your company the right way because it just builds value. One of the survey questions, and I think Mary mentioned that we did a survey that we'll share with you later on, was why do people leave? And I think a lot of people, the first thing out of their mouth is, it's the pay. But you know what? We have a survey that showed that it really wasn't the pay. Guess what some of the reasons were? Lack of interest from your supervisor, poor training opportunities, lack of advancement. So we'll talk about this and all those results of those surveys and some other great ideas when we meet in June. And in David's absence, he was going to be talking a little bit today about retention, but I will tell you, just going on through this, that the first day has happened. They got the job. But think about it, if you're on the service team now, about what happened when you got in there and started your job. Pretty sure somebody walked over to you and handed you a big old wad of keys. And half of them probably didn't work anything anymore, but you have no idea what these keys go to. And you were probably told to write down alarm codes and passwords to things, but they didn't necessarily tell you what they were for, but it's okay. You'll figure it out when you use them. And I'm sure you were handed either a radio or a cell phone because this is how you were going to keep in contact with the office. It's just you don't have numbers or anything about that has to do with that. So remember, it's your first day, so a lot of things are going to be placed in your lap. And the best thing you can do is have a stellar onboarding program. And from here, I'll hand it over to Kim.
Thanks, Patty. So let's fast forward a couple of months. This technician that we hired is doing a fantastic job. He figured out, or she figured out, the keys. They used the alarm code successfully. They used the right passwords in the right places. They had an awesome onboarding experience that was taken slowly and done thoroughly, just like Patty recommended to us. And you feel like they are performing as a major team player for the community. You couldn't be happier. Great things are happening at your community. The residents say that the property hasn't looked this good in months. Service requests are finally being completed in a timely fashion. We brag about the move-ins and our market readies because they look amazing. The new move-in inspections are coming back with very minor deficiencies on them. And when your team shows market readies, You're getting comments about how clean and crisp and how excited people were to see them. It's a great day in the maintenance world. Then your supervisor position comes available, and you think this is a no-brainer. I'm going to move this new person right into that open position. But are we sure this is the best move, or are we just trying to relieve another temporary pain point? We wouldn't want to set someone up for failure. We would never want to do that. So what should we do to confirm this technician has the knowledge, the skills, and the abilities to be advanced into a supervisor position? How do you know what their true skill set is? Because anybody can say, I'm ready for a promotion. How can we verify that someone's ready for advancement and will be successful in that new role? After all, as Patty mentioned, they just started their current role a couple of months ago. And I know that having an open maintenance supervisor position is a pain point, but so is a hasty promotion that ultimately fails. I'm waiting.
I'm so sorry. I hit go, but it didn't go.
That was perfect. So we've all heard the phrase that knowledge is power, but I've also heard it tweaked in a way that I like as well, where people started to say the use of knowledge is power. It's very accurate, it's a very true statement, and it plays a critical role in maintenance-related promotions at all of our communities. So your maintenance team's knowledge, and I'm not just talking about the ability to repair something, it's about leadership, communication, customer service. The use of that knowledge is what allows them to be successfully promoted, and that knowledge also works to your advantage when you see other team members that are skilled in those areas. You begin to see the value in them, and then it becomes obvious to you who's ready for advancement and who's not. And we all know the ideal situation is always to promote from within. We love that. But we have to be careful that it's not just a body, anybody that fills an open spot. So one of the ways to see this knowledge firsthand is to spend time working side by side with this maintenance technician. Now, this can be accomplished by a lot of different people. It can be someone from the office. It can be a maintenance supervisor from a sister community. If you're fortunate enough to have like a regional maintenance position, that person could work side by side with them as well. And I don't want to give away the whole idea for this, but if you join us in San Diego at Apartmentalize, we'll give you a full explanation of this idea and other ways that you can use knowledge to promote from within and advance your entire team's careers. That was perfect. So let's review a few ways to ease our industry's pain points. Mary gave us a sneak peek of her creative recruiting ideas. She teased us with the MAP program from the Denver Apartment Association. She talked about relocation from nearby cities. I loved the idea about business cards specific to hiring ideas and hiring opportunities. And she may even give us some additional ideas about referrals as well. Then Patty gave us a sneak peek of onboarding of maintenance with a focus on retention. She talked about supporting them and removing that new hire anxiety that we've all experienced with a call before they start. What a great idea, telling them where to park or how to handle lunch. Do we have a refrigerator? And those are items that lead to long-term employment, and long-term employment for maintenance reduces a pain point. She might also share with us in June some information about a resource guide we could use as well. And then I was able to talk to you about a sneak peek point of view on promoting from within and advancement. So promoting and filling upper level positions is a major pain point in our industry. And advancement can be handled correctly or incorrectly and cause additional pain points. So we know that promoting and filling those upper level positions is something we really need to handle and do correctly, but make sure you really know the person, work alongside them, and really understand their skill set, not just the ability to fix things. So with that, we would like to thank you for joining us for our sneak peek version of maintenance staffing, strategies to resolve our industry's pain point. We hope you'll join us at Apartmentalize for the full session, and we hope you have a painless afternoon.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
So I wanted to just make a point that this session will take place on Wednesday, June 13th in San Diego, and it starts at 1:45. That's significant because we've never had sessions that early on Wednesday at the beginning of the conference before. This is we've expanded our program, and we want to make sure that if you're coming, you're on the ground and ready to roll by 1:45 because we're moving fast and forward and we're taking no prisoners. I know that we're really close to our 30 minutes, so I'm going to do a really quick wrap up. Just bear with me. This webinar is the second in a series of 6. And if you got an invite to today's webinar, which you obviously did because you're here, you'll continue to get more invitations. But I wanted to give you a quick preview of what's coming up. On Thursday, April the 12th, we're going to talk about personal and professional life balance. At the beginning of May, we're going to set our sights on marketing. As I breeze through these, just take a quick look at the experts that we have lined up. These are like some of the best people in the entire industry. Some of our best educators. I'm really privileged to be able to bring these to you guys via webinar. In late May, we're going to turn our sights towards leasing. And then about a week out from the conference, we have a pre-conference planning webinar. Now, this is really designed to lay out an overview of the schedule and pull out some of the highlights that you should take advantage of. It'll help you be strategic in your planning for attending the event. Thank you to each of the people on our really talented team. Thanks to Mary, Patty, and Kimberly. We are so appreciative that you've taken time out of your busy schedules to talk to us. You guys will continue the conversation in June at San Diego. This sneak peek presentation is a preview of just one of 70 breakout sessions that are going to be out at the conference. There's really a ton to choose from. If you haven't registered yet, you can use the link on the bottom of this slide. Somebody had asked in the chat box whether or not this is being recorded, and the answer is yes, it is. This webinar will be posted to the event website. Additionally, you'll receive a follow-up email with a link to the recording within a few days so you have access to all the information that we shared today. We look forward to seeing you in San Diego, and thanks, everybody. Have a great afternoon and a beautiful spring. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Clark.
Bye.